Cool. Welcome back. It's final season and I have a lot of final projects to work on. So come along with me for probably about 2 weeks to work on those. You can't see this because it's all on my bed, but I have a giant piece of weaving that I did over the course of probably about a month. I have like 0 footage except for this one clip that I will play now. I don't know where I went wrong in my calculations or what exactly happened, but I ended up with 18 feet of cloth. Anyways, I also decided that I was gonna weave in every single end, like one at a time, which I don't know why I chose that. Really terrible idea on my part. So far I've done one side. It took honestly a really long time. It's really slow and I feel like I'm going blind, but yeah, I have a whole other side that I want to try to do and you can come watch me. Anyways, but it's not just gonna be me weaving in ends. I'm like gonna assemble the piece. I have another piece that I'm also working on that's probably not as boring. You're gonna see a bunch of stuff. Yeah, here's this end. This is like the worst angle possible. I also haven't cut any ends off yet, but you can see they were all brought in one by one, and now I have this side to do. Yay! That's one. Okay, I also cannot see because navy on navy, not a good combo. I realized I didn't actually explain how I was going about weaving in my ends, so I'm going to try to explain it. I'm not sure what the technique is called, but essentially I'm threading a tapestry needle with one of my ends, and then I'm following the next warp thread to the right and weaving it in to where that warp thread is, so going over under in that same way, if that makes any sense. If anyone knows what the technique is called, please let me know in the comments. My cat has just sat down on my notes, which means I'm not sure I'm gonna do this part, but I realized that I hadn't actually talked about what exactly my weaving project is or what it's looking like or what it's even made of. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. The warp is just like a 4/8 cotton, and then the structure that I was weaving was monk's belt and like a draft that I slightly modified. Like most of the floats which you have in monk belt are all made from rag yarn, which I hate to be like, if you've seen my videos, but some of the rag yarn I made in a past video was used there, and then also just other stuff that I'd also made. And I guess kind of my intention with the piece, which I hate talking about my art, but I think it's good practice. I was thinking a lot about just like overconsumption. I don't want to be like the fast fashion industry, but also just the fashion industry in general. I've been a thrifter for a very long time, and the amount of just fabric and clothes you see is honestly ridiculous sometimes, especially I'm in North America, so we have like the massive thrift stores and there's a lot of them, right? This is where kind of the setup comes into place, and why I'm weaving in all the ends is I'm trying to make it into a continuous piece of fabric. So I'm weaving in all the ends and then I'm going to kind of seam it together, hopefully kind of invisibly, and then I'm gonna put like a casing on the top, which is just like bias binding, and I'm gonna put a metal rod in the shape of a circle in there and then hang it from the ceiling. Obviously in my class I'm thinking about like circularity and how can we reuse or kind of reimagine these pieces of fabric that are getting donated and these items that we throw away. That's kind of the thought process behind the piece. But yeah, you'll see it as it comes together. Hopefully it comes together well. is actually two separate metal rods that are each going to be half circles that I'm going to be bending at school in the metal shop. So I'm a little nervous, but hopefully it goes well. It's currently Saturday. I have my crit on Thursday, which is very soon. I've done 2 kind of sections, which isn't so bad. It does take me like an hour per each section, maybe a little less. I think the navy on navy, you probably can't even see it. So you can imagine I'm like this and I can't see anything. The light pink, it's a little easier to do. But yeah, I have like 3 more sections. I'm gonna try to probably do 1 more today, especially since it's like a navy one. And then I'll leave the other 2 for another day, most likely, because I feel myself going blind. And yeah, you can also see that like my posture when I do this, horrendous, awful. I finally finished weaving in all the ends on both sides. We'll kind of show you, I'll show you better later, but it's done. It took longer than I care to admit, but at least it's done. I need to cut all my ends off, but I'm gonna do that not right now, or like not in this direct moment. I'll do it probably today though. I'm going tomorrow, I have class tomorrow, but I'm also going in the morning to bend the metal rod that's going to go like on top to hold like the circular shape. I'm going at 9:30 for that, and my last class finishes at 10:30 at night. So it's gonna be a 13-hour day. Have to say I'm not super excited. Back to the actual intent of this, why I'm filming this though right now, is because I'm going to try to spin rag yarn. I use just this kind of yarn that I've cut from cloth. It's, yeah, very easy to do, but I'm going to try to spin it or almost like twine it so that it's a little strength, like there's more strength to it, so I can use it to hang the actual piece from the ceiling. I don't know how successful this is gonna be. I kind of tried looking up online on like YouTube and stuff, and like there's a little bit of information. I don't know if I'm looking up like the right terms or like whatnot, so we're gonna see how this goes. I'm just gonna kind of also like my TA in one of my classes spins some, but she spins it on like a wheel, whereas obviously I'm doing this on just my drop spindle. It seems like it's working. I'm a little nervous. It said, from what I read / the one YouTube tutorial that I saw, it said to add like a lot of spin, like high twist. I'm worried about like the strength of it. I don't want it to like tear while the piece is also midair, so we'll see. Okay, this seems like it's, I'm confident that this is somehow gonna work out. Okay, wait, this is kind of slaying. Here she is. This is like the first little bit that I had that's all spun. I'm actually obsessed. Like, it's crazy. I love it. It's so easy. I'm gonna have so much fun. New obsession unlocked, like 100%. So, and I think this is gonna work in terms of my project, which I'm really happy about. So I'm going to wind it onto my fake bobbins, aka, if you've seen before, I wind it onto like toilet rolls. I'm just a little worried that I'm gonna run out of thread because I need quite a bit. I don't know, we'll find out, but otherwise absolutely obsessed. And it's so easy. Like, genuinely, I don't really feel like you have to have good spinning technique. Like, I don't, and I feel like you can still get really like fun stuff. Only thing is, it twists on itself quite a bit. That's probably because I'm adding a lot of twist in. but I'm kind of okay with that. I think once I ply it together with something else, it'll be fine. Okay. Here it is. Oh my god, it's so cute. I've got both my bobbins and I'm going to now ply them together. I've done this before, but basically what I use to like put my bobbins on is a old shoebox, knitting needles that I put through, and then I just put the bobbin on there. I don't know who invented this technique. I saw it online. It's not an original idea by any means, but it works really great and I highly recommend if you don't want to spend money, which I never do. It's done. Remember how I was like, oh my god, so easy. Actually, plying that together was kind of the most miserable experience of my life. Just like knotted itself together somehow. I don't want to get into it. But yeah, at least it's done as it kind of comes apart. But I'm going to call it a night. I don't know if this is enough for what I needed to do, but let's hope. But I do have more, so I might try to do this Wednesday. We'll see. I'm happy though. It looks really good. I will put a picture because this is not doing it justice. I have been slacking perhaps a little bit today. It's Wednesday, but it's like 3:30, which is not great. But I think the last clip you saw was me making this fabric yarn that I'm absolutely obsessed with. Like, I'm so excited by it. I made a second one. I'm in love with it. I have basically no more of this fabric, which is why I stopped making it. But I'm gonna use this to hang the piece. I cut off all my ends. Actually, no, that's the last thing you saw. So I cut off all my ends on the weaving. I need to sew the ends together, and then I need to sew a casing in, and then I need to sew the strings that are gonna hold the piece onto this, and then we'll be good to go. Ooh, also, I didn't mention yesterday. No, please don't. Please don't. Yesterday, I ended up bending the wire for my circle to hold this. It went super quick. Thank you to the technician who helped me out / did it for me. But yeah, so I have that. That's at school. And then all I really need to do after I do all of this is the setup tomorrow. I'm so excited. Like, I'm genuinely so excited for this piece. Like, I don't think you understand. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I'm so excited, and I've never like, I don't think I felt like this so far in art school, so this is very exciting. But yeah, I need to kick my ass into gear because I don't have that much time.
Them to have their own. This is a pretty big.
I've changed needle to something a little pointier because I was using a tapestry needle and it was going awful. It was like impossible to sew the pieces together, and then I switched to this needle and it's a lot better. It's got a bit of a bigger eye. It's slightly longer. It's like at the size of a tapestry needle, but it's got a pointy end. So I don't know what it's called. If anyone knows, let me know. I'm speeding through it now. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's not terrible. I think once it's all kind of set up, hopefully it's not too obvious. This is the right side. It's not bad. Just finished listening to Florence and the Machine's long album live performance for the BBC Prom. It's an hour and a half. It is so good, and I've revamped myself. I'm going to be re-listening to this while I sew. So I'm going to do a little test on, I had like a little kind of sample of the weaving I did. I'm going to do a test for the casing because I'm a little nervous. This is like an extremely dark navy blue. I have 3 of these, and then I have this thread. Again, can you tell? It's like a very close color match, I think. And this was thrifted. So yeah, I need to wind my bobbin. Also, if you can see the mess back here, no you can't. It's not there. Machine is started. Okay, so you can definitely see that. Yeah, you can see that. The dilemma is when I do it from the back, what ends up kind of happening is that you can see the stitching here, all along here, and it's very visible. And I think that is really distracting. And so if I do it, if I sew the casing from the front where I can't see the casing, I'm like have better control of where I'm stitching, and so I can make it kind of in this in-between section and make it invisible. I like that. The only thing is it's probably gonna be quite messy from here. If I pin it, but if I pin it like that, it's not going as smoothly as I thought it would, which to be expected, but okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, that's okay. Okay, it's just gonna take a lot longer than originally anticipated. I've finished sewing the casing. I probably have a couple little bits. There's a couple little bits that are not sewed down that I'm just gonna hand sew, but I'm gonna do that off camera. But now I just have to use the yarn that I made. So essentially the plan is I've measured with a string at school how much I need for it to hang from. That doesn't make sense, but you're gonna see. And I'm gonna measure 6 pieces. I'm hesitating if I should just do it out of this. 6 times 3 is 18. So theoretically I should have enough with this. I would use it completely. And here it is. I got way too scared to film my setup at school. Luckily, I had a friend there to help me out, but to be honest, we were all very stressed and like running around trying to find space within the studio to set up. So it didn't work out. I mean, I didn't end up filming the process, but luckily everything worked out. Crit went really well. It was nice to be able to see what everyone had been working on, and I'm really proud of what I did. You can kind of see the inside here, and here's like a little overview. Terrible lighting, but what's new? But yes, that was my project. I hope you liked it. We're here for a reason, actually. I wanted to show you the wires, but I didn't want to take them out. Because I kept talking about the wires and I realized that I didn't actually show you what they look like. But here they are. This is the most you're gonna see. I'm so sorry. They're massive though. They're I don't know if I talked about this, but the circumference of the piece, it is 223 inches long. I think I mentioned it. It's 18 feet. So each one is 110 inches, give or take, about. So they're very large. The piece, I'll put a photo up, but the piece is about at like waist height, which is really fun because everyone was getting inside of it and then coming out of it, and it was like a really fun viewing experience. So that was really fun, very interactive and kind of community. I think that was a word that came up a lot, which was nice. And it's definitely given me some ideas of where I'd like to take the project, or like kind of some good jumping off points. I know I mentioned in this video like a second final project, and originally I was going to include them both together, but then I realized it just like doesn't work because I did them like one and then the other one. So I am just going to make a second video. It'll be really short. It's going to be published probably like the day after this one gets posted, just because it just made sense in my head for it to be two separate videos. However, the other one you're going to see is like crunch time and like maybe 10 minutes long. So you don't have to watch it, but it's like a stitching video of fabric manipulations. And my cat is here. But anyways, yes, that's it for my weaving. I'm officially done my midterms. Not my midterms. I'm officially done my finals. I'm done for the semester, which I'm very excited about. I'm gonna have some more fun videos of projects that I've been wanting to make but putting off because of just time constraints. So stick around. Thank you for watching.